facilitator. Right. So first of all, the definition, do you think it should include people that are born male? I'm going to start with you, Debbie.
Well, the definition is in the dictionary. If it's being used, then it should be in there. This definition is nonsense because it's circular and doesn't explain itself. But if people are using it, then yes, it should be in there so that people can look it up in the dictionary, see that it is nonsense, and understand what's being said.
Yeah, because I thought there was a definition for somebody who is transgender, and that would be a transgender woman. Narinda, what's your view on this?
I think, as my kids would say, let's not deep this, Mum. It's just a dictionary meaning. They have several different meanings, and also this isn't a dictionary handed by God, and we must be doing this. I think we should make people feel included, and I think that it's absolutely correct. Times are changing, and if a man who was assigned male at birth, who now decides he's a woman, I welcome it. I do not find it offensive.
But what's wrong with Narinda? What's wrong with trans woman? Because you're not a woman, as in a woman, biological woman. What's wrong? That means there's no division.
Trans woman? That's like saying half black or half Indian or half this.
Well,
you're just that. I'm a woman of colour. They are just a woman. They don't want to be identified as trans because that's not inclusive. That's prejudice. Let's make people feel included.
But it's defining exactly what it is. I mean, that's what the dictionary is about. The dictionary is not about being inclusive.
We don't need to define it exactly
but the dictionary is for definitions. Peter Tatchell, what's your view?
Well, Debbie's right. Including a word in the dictionary is not an approval or a value judgment. It's simply the fact that this word is in common usage. That's how new words get added to the dictionary. And trans woman is in common usage, and many people include, when they talk about women, they include trans women. So the basic definition has not changed. It still says that a woman is an adult biological person. But there's an additional paragraph or definition which takes into account trans women. So it doesn't take anything away from, quote, biological woman. It just adds to it. And I think that the reality is that, biological women and trans women are different. They're not the same. But both are equally valid. And why shouldn't that be recognised?
Well, nobody's saying that they're not equally valid, but we're saying that they're not the same thing. So how is it that dictionary definition puts them in that category? And could that not have a further effect if, for example, that definition is taken in a situation where actually you need to acknowledge that there is a difference between the two? I'm going to bring in Katie John Wendt.
Can I just add, Nana, the dictionary definition, the new dictionary definition, does distinguish between the two. It doesn't merge them. It does say there are two types of women.
Well, let's go to Katie John Wendt. Your thoughts on this?
Well, curiously, so far, I think all four of us agree on the fact that the dictionary doesn't just define, but it also describes. And it's describing usage and how it has changed. We've got 1,500 years of descriptive usage of the word woman in the OED and things like that. And the Cambridge Dictionary is just one dictionary amongst men. Curiously, obviously, the word for woman has continually been defined by men since the beginning of time, because all the dictionary writers have been men. And within that time, even the phrase adult human female, which is still in there and is still the primary definition and the one that's emblazoned upon the T-shirts of some trans detractors, that's still there. But the words, if you scroll down over history and also still in some dictionaries, you'll see everything from wife to chattel to servant describing the word woman. But the thing is, as Peter said, it's a different definition, and it isn't so much a definition as a description. And also, it isn't a legal definition. The dictionary is not going to be hauled into court because you'd have to haul in all of the dictionaries, and there are so many of them. There are differences between legal cases and legal case law and medical dictionaries as well. So this is neither a medical nor a legal definition. This is a social definition, a social description. So I think that's the thing that is really key here.
Well, that might.
But I think Peter, I'm not sure if you are, but I feel as if you're creating a division, as if there should be a different definition for trans and there should be a different one for women. Whereas I feel in a more inclusive society, there should just be one description. A woman is a woman, whether that be born at male or they become a woman. You're still a woman.
Well, I
want to live in your society, but I don't think all women agree.
It's quite right to make a distinction between man and gay man. They're two different kinds of men. They're both men, but they're two different kinds, and the dictionary should reflect that.
Yeah, but they are still actually biologically male. And I think for me, the issue is that whilst I agree that a trans woman may be a type of woman, I think that a trans woman is actually, in my view, a trans woman is actually a man. So for me, that dictionary, to me, it's like the emperor and his clothes. A trans woman is a man. Whilst they're a trans woman. To me, if you put that's what I think. If it was me in the dictionary definition, I would say a trans woman. I would put it in the definition of man. I wouldn't put it in with woman.
Take the word queen. The word queen is used for the monarch, the female monarch. Queen also used to mean a prostitute, and queen is also a word that since 1924 was used of gay men. So, it can be used across the sexes and genders sometimes. It's all about context and descriptors and social evolution.
But as a woman, why do you want this distinction? Do you get affected? Because I know a lot of women get
a trans woman
offended.
No. I'm just being factual. A trans woman is actually a man. Okay, so trans woman, if you go to the biological definition, no, but that's what I think. See, I don't think that I don't believe that a trans woman is a woman. I believe a trans woman is a trans woman.
I believe they are. They
a trans woman is actually a man.
They are.
And that's my issue with it. I think you're saying one thing when it actually is another. And I think it's a contradiction in terms, because one is not a woman. A woman, I think, to me, is an adult female. And I don't think that a trans woman is a woman. I think a trans woman is a trans woman. And ultimately, a trans woman is actually a man. Debbie?
Yeah, you're absolutely right. Trans women are men, and you can get that from the dictionary. A dictionary says that a man is an adult male human being. I'm an adult male human being, therefore a trans woman is a man. So we can argue that. But what we've got here are dictionary definitions, and dictionary definitions just simply define usage. For example, incidentally, I did look up some of these before. Trans woman isn't listed, so that's perhaps we should be grumbling about why that's not in there. But there's other definitions as well. I looked up gold, for example. Gold is element 79 in the periodic table. But I've got gold stars on my Christmas tree, but we know they're not really gold. But we use the word in that way, so the dictionary includes the usage in that way.
But I think you're taking away from what trans women want to be. They want to be known as just women, not trans. You keep taking away that they're a woman by putting the word trans in front of it. It's not fair.
No, I'm not taking anything away. I'm just looking at it. And I'm just saying that I appreciate that you can use words to define different things, but in my view, a woman is a biological thing, and I don't believe that it's something that is open to that sort of nuance.
It's like somebody saying to me, well, actually, you're not British, you're Indian, you're brown, you're not British. It's the same thing.
I'm talking about
British.
Specifically.
There's always words put in front.
I'm talking specifically about the word woman.
Add about biology? You raised the question about biology. Well, biology includes physical attributes, but the latest cutting-edge science shows that biology also includes brain structures and brain processes, and the evidence is that trans women and trans men have slightly different brain structures and brain processes compared to non-trans people, and that is a biological basis for their trans identity.
Right, so they should be trans women or trans men.
It's a biologically rooted thing in their brain process and brain structure.
So that doesn't make them a trans woman, isn't therefore a woman? Is that what you're saying? Because
well, you've just said it. I mean, Peter's just said it quite clearly there, that a trans woman has a different biological structure to a woman. Therefore, that trans woman is a trans woman, not a woman.
It doesn't matter.
I'm just listening to what Peter said. I'm not saying whether it matters or not. But in my view, I just don't think they're the same thing. I think that, for me, it seems to be a contradiction in terms. You're describing something in the dictionary as a trans woman, but the thing you're describing is actually biologically a man. So to me...
No, but biologically, any way you want to look at it, they could have been born a man. But you know what? Let's be fair and nice and inclusive. They now are a woman. Let's include them in that. Let's not say, well, you're not really. It's not nice.
Well, it's not about being nice. I'm just going specifically with, in my view, the reality. I think that we've got to be careful of muddying the waters in such a manner, because I think that will seep into other things. And therefore, well, for example, it's already seeping into things like sport, where trans women are competing against women as though they're the same, and they're not.
Tiny, minuscule percentage.
Yeah, but that's the beginning. That is the beginning of it.
Tiny percentage.
That is the beginning of it. I'm going to give the last...
That is actually true. We're about 0.5% at most of the population.
Exactly.
We make up 10%. We make up 10% of the tweets every day and about 20% of the news, it seems. So disproportionately, we're right out there. But also, even within trans, there are multitudes of ways of identifying within trans. Debbie and I will use different language to express ourselves. Had you got 4 more trans people on here, there'd be 4 more ways of expressing ourselves. And part of this is about a freedom of expression. And I don't know whether the Cambridge Dictionary is also caught up with everything from demi-boy to non-binary to all of the other language. There's, some trans people absolutely want to drop the label trans as they transition. And there are others who are comfortable with maintaining it. I'm comfortable with the epithet of trans, but that's my choice.
Well, listen,
I love Narinda's inclusion, and I want to go out with Narinda or any kind of, girls' night out if she's going to include me as a girl on that.
Well, look,
I'm not going to walk into a group of women and demand that they treat me as a woman or call me a woman. I do not want to take the word woman. But I love it when it is conferred and gifted.
Okay. Well, I mean, listen, thank you so much for your thoughts on that. Really good to hear your views. Debbie Hayton, transgender teacher and journalist, Narinda Kaur, reality TV star and commentator, Peter Tatchell, LGBTQ activist, and also Katie John Went, diversity and inclusion facilitator. Thank you so much. Right, in a previous statement, a Cambridge Dictionary spokesperson said the first definition at the entry for woman remains unchanged and continues to be an adult female human being. Our dictionaries are written for learners of English and are designed to help users understand English as it is currently used. They are compiled by analysing a large corpus of English text, over 2 billion words in total, taken from all the areas of writing and publishing, which allows us to see exactly how language is used. We regularly update our dictionary to reflect changes in how English is used based on analysis of data from this corpus.